Well, hello there. I'm Finest Mammon, once again, proprietor and barkeep at the Fourth Circle. And would you look at what arrived on my doorstep today? Oh, oh. It's a Switch 2 and a Pro controller. I was actually like, I was kind of contemplating on whether or not I was gonna grab this at launch or not. But I kind of figured with the state that the world's in right now, now is a better time I feel like than ever. So I figured, why not? I'll go ahead and snag a pre-order. And Best Buy actually came through for me when the pre-orders did open here in the U.S. So we got ourselves a Switch 2 and a Pro controller. So I've heard a lot of interesting things about the Switch 2 in terms of like its power performance levels. Especially when it comes to like Switch 1 backwards compatibility. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. So I'm actually honestly I feel like I'm more excited to play some of the Switch 1 games that perform way better than even playing the new Mario Kart. But I do have the Mario Kart World Bundle, so I will most likely be digging into that too. So without further ado, let us go ahead and get into it. I think we're going to go and just get into the meat of it and unbox the console first. Let's see how it do. I think it's at the bottom here. There's the tab. Looking for you. This one wasn't, it doesn't have a tape seal like the Pro controller does. That was something I noticed when I was going through the packaging today. I was like, oh, this is it's just a flap, which is kind of odd, but it is what it is. And here we are. Starting right at the top. It's kind of a surprise that they put the console like directly up top. You would think that, there's only a thin layer of cardboard on the lid, but nope. The console and the Joy-Cons are in here. Go ahead and take the Joy-Cons out. Got our left Joy-Con, which this feels a noticeably bigger in hand than the original did. A lot more comfortable to hold on the sides too. These SL and SR buttons at the top are way bigger too. And like they said I think they said this in the direct, that these are, it was in the direct or it was in like an interview, but these are made of they're made of metal up here. And I think that's what provides like the magnetic connection to the console. So it's interesting. Got the little magnetic release here. I don't know if that'll come through on camera all that well, but when you push it, there's a little deal that comes out. We'll have to see how the whole mechanism works. It'll be interesting, no doubt. And we got the right Joy-Con here, the red one. This color scheme does bring me back a little bit. That classic light red and that cyan color scheme from the original definitely felt. And this one's same deal. I think I prefer the feel, like the sideways feel in hand of the left one more, because the stick is a little bit more where your left thumb is going to be. It's like either way you're compromised a little bit, trying to like push the buttons or to hit the stick. But either way though, yeah, this is noticeably more comfortable and in like just sideways, even without a grip. It's just kind of surprising to me. So in a pinch, you could do that. You could do that in a pinch. And then let's just take out the console itself. Let me get some of this debris off. I think this comes from the packaging most likely. But let me take this bad boy out of here. And would you look at that? It's the actual console in hand. Oh, that's a hefty little unit. Like the original Switch, even just like the tablet by itself was a lot lighter than this. And I think that's in big part due to, how much bigger the screen is on this. Like I can definitely tell even without like bringing a Switch in to compare, which actually I can go get my Switch. Hang on. Just to compare it. Hold on a minute. We can do a little size comparison actually. Let me take the Joy-Cons off of my original. And this is my original Switch in comparison. Wow, my my original looks a lot more used. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it is noticeably larger just going from corner to corner. It's a big increase. And I think with the Joy-Cons too, Joy-Cons are also noticeably larger. Like if you look at them, like, oh yeah, these ones are noticeably larger. The new ones on the Switch too, they're a lot bigger. They're definitely going to be more interesting in the hand, just like on their own. I think because these feel a little tiny, especially like if you're trying to like reach the thumbstick with this, not really going to get you there. But like this is a little bit easy. It's a little easier to reach. Not by that much. I still think you kind of, if you're going to play handheld mode, you should really get a grip. Probably once more of the options come out. I know Skull and Co has one. I think D Brand has one, and I know Satisfy's coming out with theirs too. The Satisfy one's the one I'm looking forward to, but that doesn't happen until August. But yeah, no, it's definitely it's a more comfortable feel in the hand just on its own too. So that's interesting. And why don't we connect the Joy-Cons to the system? And on the deal. Oh, I feel the magnet. Oh, yep, that snapped right in. Oh, that snapped right in. Let me get the other one. Oh, that went. Oh yeah, that went right in. Right in. And if I try to pull it, that's solid in there. Oh wow. Yeah, you really can't pull this thing. Not that much. You have to use the little trigger, the little magnet release trigger deal, pull it out, because that's what provides that like little just release mechanism. But that feels so much better. It feels so much better to do, much more intuitive than doing like the Joy-Con into the Switch One's rails. Like you have to go in and slide it down. I do like the click sound more, I think, on the Switch One. The click is a little more satisfying. I will say that. And I am gonna miss it, but I think just like the intuitiveness of just yoink and boink it's just easier. And there's like, if you know what you're doing, there's less resistance, and they're also just not going to go flying out of your hands, and there's less chance for it to fail too. So I think that's great. But very nice. On the back of the system, got the kickstand here, which my understanding, this thing goes pretty far. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that goes very far. Very, very far. And it's easily adjustable to whatever point you want to adjust it to too. You can just stop at whatever certain point you want. That's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I like that. And as for the buttons, they feel about the same. I think I like the sticks more on the Joy-Con 2 though. I think they feel better. I think it's because of that, like the little plastic ring that they got around the stick. It feels like there's just like no friction when you're going around the perimeter of the stick. So that feels really good too. And it's got on the bottom side, if I can get to it, that's got the USB-C port on the bottom, and I believe those are cooling vents at the bottom, unless they're the speakers. Not 100%. No, I think those are. No, those might be the speakers. Oh wait, no, it's these little guys at the top here. I don't know if you can see them. There's like one right there, and then there's another like right there. You can see there's the little slits. I think those are the speakers, and then these are just more cooling vents, which makes sense. This system is much more performant. Again, running a much better system on a chip kind of deal than the Tegra X1 was. Running a T239, I think now. It's got like actual, tensor cores, so it can do ray tracing, though I don't think most Switch 2 games will ever do that. And then DLSS, among other things. DLSS is really the big one. Having that kind of upscaling is going to be such a huge boon for Nintendo games. It's going to be crazy. So I'm really looking forward to that. And then at the top, you got more cooling vents. Got another USB-C port up here. This is the game card slot. And then you got volume rockers and the power button over here. And I think the SD card slot is behind the kickstand. Right? Yeah, it's up in the kickstand. It's like right there. So, worth noting on the kickstand or the SD cards is that you can only use micro SD express cards. Don't make the mistake of buying like a regular SD card. It has to say express on it. So make sure you buy the right ones. I know Walmart, for what it's worth, has been stocking their own brand periodically. I ended up actually picking up a 512 gig one for like $60. And that was like a really, really good deal because they had stock in where I was at locally. So it'd be good to just like check on that every now and again, just so you can like make sure you get yourself a micro SD express card for this if you're going to play a lot of digital games. So, but it's got 256 gigs of onboard storage, I think, for people that are mostly physical anyway. We'll have to see how that goes, depending on how many publishers decide to use the game key cards. It may be good to pick up a micro SD express anyway, but let me see what we got in the rest of the box. Looks like this opens. We got in here a thing I can throw away. Super. An HDMI cable. Yeah, they call it ultra high speed HDMI cable. So probably, at least enough to. I think this is probably an HDMI 2.0 is my guess, because this console doesn't support 4K 120. So this is most likely HDMI 2.0. So most TVs and monitors will definitely support that, and especially if they run at higher refresh rates, because the Switch can support up to 120 frames per second. It's just not going to support 4K at 120, but I think it supports 1440p at 120 is the max res and frame rate that'll go. And then 4K 60 is like max visuals. And then it looks like we got our straps here, and I think these are also, let me see if I can pull this out. I think these are also kind of designed to be like, they've got like these little feet on here, which I think is supposed to be better for use for the mouse controls that the Joy-Con 2 have now. Let me pop out my left Joy-Con, put it on here. See if it goes in easy. There we go. You have to do it from the back. Yeah, because you got to do it from the back first. Got to go in and then boop. There we go. Okay. So I got the left one on. Let me see. I can at least get a general idea of how it feels. I don't think this would be good for like extended play because there's not a lot to fill out your hand on the other side because the Joy-Con is just so thin. So my hope is that somebody makes like a peripheral that is more just like a shell, so to speak, that goes around the Joy-Con and helps to like fill out your hands. Um, I really hope that, somebody makes a peripheral like that. That way it feels like just using an actual mouse rather than this kind of like half measure, which I think is cool. And it lends itself well to having like PC games on Switch 2. But yeah, I think it's another one of those things where having a peripheral would definitely be nice. So I'm going to put this off to the side here. And same thing with the one on the right. Got the right one too. And that probably would have been the better example to use because I'm right-handed. not a lefty kind of guy when it comes to mouse controls of any kind. Yeah, put that off to the side. And then we have more cables. Let me see what I got. It's like this is it's the new Joy-Con grip. I've never used this, to be completely honest. I always thought it's just it's kind of another half measure in to me. And it's a little difficult to get these into. Kind of have to go at it at the right angle. Probably have to go at it from the top, to be honest. Yeah. You have to go at it from the top. It's not like it's not the worst thing. I would prefer my hand to be angled out a little more. That way, like the stick was kind of like this, and then you can still reach the buttons kind of as needed. But it is what it is, and I think, in a pinch, this will work fine. So, man, I still can't get over the magnetic release stuff. It's so cool. It's so cool, man. I can't get over how fun it feels to use it. And you got a USB-C cable. Okay. I didn't know this. The Interesting. So that's why it's detached, because it's a detachable deal. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Nice. So, because it used to be like the original Switch adapter was like a built-in cable, so you couldn't detach it. It was just like a single unit. But having a detachable cable is such a nice thing to have, because it means you lose a cable, like cool. You can put in another one, and should be fine as long as it can do a decent amount of power delivery. Which I think this is what's the wattage on this? Output 20 volts, so it can output up to 60 watts. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely a solid little deal. All right. I like that. That was actually a pleasant surprise. I really wasn't expecting that. And then I think this is the beefy boy. It's the dock, if I can get it out of there. Holy hell. It's really in there. And I can get this box out of the way, I think, now. I assume my code for Mario Kart is somewhere in here. At least it should be. I'll have to go looking for it. Probably in there. It's probably in there somewhere. But I'm a little more interested in the dock right now. So yeah, this is the new dock. So The switch goes up top. They have vents up top because they have like a cooling solution now. It's like it's got an actual fan in it, which again makes sense. Really needs some active cooling in the dock now. Then you just detach it from the top. Okay. And on the internals of the dock, it's got a USB-C port over here, an HDMI right here, and we finally have an Ethernet jack built in. It's like right at the bottom. I don't know if I can make it visible. All that visible. It's like, yeah, it's like right there. But the OLED had an Ethernet jack, the original Switch OLED. But the base model Switch dock didn't have that. So very happy to have an Ethernet jack now. Nintendo finally getting in the modern age a little bit. But let's see how it do. There we go. I keep thinking that I have to slide it down and it just pops out. And then it's also got a couple of USB type A ports up here. I think these are 2.0. I'm not 100%. I don't know if they're 2.0 or 3.0. I'd have to look into that. And then you got more grills at the bottom for venting. And yeah, that's the dock. Let me dock it in and see how it slides in. Oh yeah. We cooking now. Wow. Goes right in and right out. That's nice. Okay. That's nice. I can get with that. Very nice. Okay. Now, question is going to be, let me get my Switch 1 out of the way here. The other thing I'm really curious about is the Pro Controller. I want to unbox that too. Let me set the dock off to the side and put my Switch over there. Get the Pro Controller out. This one has a couple of tape seals on the side, so let me bust that open. This letter opener that I've had for 5 freaking billion years and hasn't failed me yet. Let's see. There we go. Popped right in the box. And slide this right on out. Okay, so we got a USB-C to USB-A. Okay, so you can charge it on the inside. All right. And then the Pro Controller itself. My understanding is they basically kind of went with if it's not broke, don't fix it kind of like thing with the Pro Controller. It's very similar shape is what I've seen, but yeah, this is very similar shape to the original Pro Controller. So it's got the same Switch layout. Got the sticks over here. Plus and minus is up here. Home and capture. Got your D-pad. There's a new C button. The C button is for your game chat functionality, which that I'm interested in that. Even as like someone who's like kind of content creator brained a little bit and just uses Discord. It'd be nice to have something like in my bedroom if I'm chilling and then maybe I like run into a friend online and we do a game chat sesh. It'd be interesting. And then the top of the controller is white. Got your USB-C pairing, triggers and bumpers. Let me test how these buttons feel. Yeah, I mean, they feel about the same as the original Switch Pro controller. I think this form factor is actually a little smaller, which for me, I like. My hands are not super large. So having a controller where I can easily access the bumpers and the triggers with just my index fingers is really nice to have. And then I can like wrap my hands around the actual grips. So that's nice. Let me see how the D-pad feels. D-pad I think feels about the same as the original Pro controller. Yeah, it feels about the same. I'm not jazzed about that, to be completely honest. I was really hoping it wouldn't feel. I was hoping it'd be a little more tactile, I guess. But I know that like some people are more into like the mushy style D-pad, but I also didn't care for like sometimes you'd have accidental upward and downward inputs if you like rolled your your thumb on one of your horizontal inputs, and same deal on the other way around. You could have accidental left and rights. So not great. Not great. Really would have liked a better D-pad. I don't know why they didn't change that. Because that was one of the common complaints. But it is what it is on that, unfortunately. And then face buttons feel about the same. Sticks. Oh, okay. There's the differential. Holy shit, those sticks feel really nice. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, that feels really good. They touted these as being like basically frictionless almost. And you really don't feel it like pretty much at all. A lot of the time when you hit like the edge of a controller, right? You feel that like you feel like a clack as the stick hits the edge of the plastic. But this you just don't. It's oh man. Oh, that feels so nice. I really like that. Okay. And then on the back, got back buttons now. We finally have a first party controller that has back buttons. Took 5 million years, and I'm surprised Nintendo was the first one to offer it on a standard controller. I know like Sony and Microsoft have theirs on their like elite controllers or their DualSense Edge, but Nintendo having it on their standard offering is pretty nice. So got the GR here. It's on the left side there, but it's the right side of the controller. And then the GL button is here. And I think you can assign these to whatever button you want. So that's pretty nice. Would have been, it's one of those things where sometimes back buttons would be nicer if you had 4 of them. If you're playing a lot of like first person shooters. But I'm not someone that really uses back buttons all that much at all. So I'm probably going to leave them off. But you never know. I might be converted, because a lot of the time my issues, I have a hard time reaching them while still doing all the stuff that I want. But this form factor is just enough where I could potentially be convinced to play with back buttons. We'll have to see though. For sure, for sure. And then I want to see, there's supposed to be a Mario. Feeling my dude hat box. Supposed to be like two. Or at least I think it's a game download. I don't know if they hide it. I don't know if they're hiding it in there or not. It's a kind of a curious question. I'm not sure where it was supposed to be in the other in the other unboxings of this same deal. It's definitely not in there. Unless it like automatically comes preloaded. Which I don't recall that they ever did that. That would be pretty unusual. See inside panel for instructions. Oh, I guess it's not a code. Okay, I guess it's not a code in this box. That's interesting. You set up your internet connection. Okay. Because I think some of the boxes had a download code in them, but on the inside here, it's got the instructions here that says that you set up your internet connection, and then you follow the instructions to just download it. They don't put a download code in the box. I think on this one, I might be wrong, but I think it might be a thing that kind of there's like an access key that comes preloaded, but it's a thing. So yeah. No, overall, Switch 2 and in the hand so far feels all right. It's definitely hefty. Definitely a hefty thing for sure. Definitely will want a grip. Again, like I said, down the line. But I do like that it's got a bigger screen. God, I still can't get over the release and the attach mechanism. That's so cool. So I'm very excited to play with it. I'm going to definitely spend some time setting it up and doing my system transfers and getting all my stuff onto my console. So I think that'll do it for me. So thanks y'all for watching. And I will see you next time. Have a good one.